motto for the year has been raise the bar. We had a good year last year, but it still could have been better. We've got a lot of skilled guys back, obviously, and it's a great problem to have, but there again, you got to kind of figure out the rotation, figure out the touches for everybody, things like that. So that does cause a little bit more game planning, than normal. And the big thing for us right now is figuring out our offensive line rotation. We had a couple of graduate there, so we got to get that ironed out, or it makes it a lot harder for those skill guys to get somewhere if you don't get that ironed out in the correct way. So that's a big focus for us right now, and then defensively just replacing really linebackers on that side of the ball. It is a big area of focus right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And so for those watching, we had to relocate because we just about got struck by lightning out there, Coach, but we survived. But, going back to specifically in the backfield, I mean, it's not often you get two running backs that we're talking 1,000-yard ability for both of them. TJ did it last year, and Javen just, with enough touches could get there too. Have you ever had a stable of backs like this before?
When I was at Ridgeland, I had two that had 1,000 yards. Of course, we did run a little bit different offense in that had three running backs. So, that'd be a little bit harder just because we typically just use one back. But, both of those guys too, I expect to play some on defense this year at linebacker. So, I think both of them will kind of be alternating on either side, offensively and defensively a little bit. So if one of them has a big series of defense where they've had a lot of plays, and the other one would go on offense, and and vice versa. So, I think that'll be a big deal for us, as we go through the first part of the season.
Yeah, and you mentioned the pieces that you lost on defense. Bryson Tremere was one of those guys. Quanah Martin, Armand Cunningham, Vidal Fleming. A lot of talent rolled off. How do you feel like the team has sort of been able to not necessarily replace those guys, but replace that production?
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll just be guys like what I'm talking about, Javen and TJ. Those guys will have to probably play a little bit more both ways than what they did last year. But because we have so many of them, I don't think it will be an issue where they're going to be too tired or anything like that either. So, I think we'll have a good rotation there. And then, we've been able to develop guys we feel like that, are going to be able to step in and play a good role too. Corey Ritchie will probably play a lot of free safety for us this year, and he's got experience there. We've still got corners that have a lot of experience as well with Isaac D. Ford, Jasek Smith, and Cameron. Those three guys can rotate in a lot at corner. The skill problem issue allows us to have more depth and more flexibility, at some of those positions to be able to get more people in and get people breaks and move people around in case somebody else has to go out of the game or something like that too.
Yeah. And now you have a really exciting schedule. And we'll get into the region portion in just a moment, but as far as non-region, how awesome is that to be able to open up at home against Habersham Central in a big time?
I mean, that's going to be obviously a huge game, big money maker. It's, from a coach's standpoint, I feel like all the games that we have non-region are games that, number one, will bring in lots of money to our program. The teams will travel well. Mm-hmm. And then number two, they're regional teams. So, the people that have really good records and really good programs too. So there'll be a lot of interest in those games from a lot of different people in the area.
Yeah, absolutely. Raven County is one of those. Can't wait for that game. But Habersham Central is always a huge one, no matter what both teams look like too on paper.
Especially first game.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going to happen.
You just dive right in.
That's right.
And so, the region last year, we all know this, well documented. Last year there were 5 teams ranked in the top 10 at one point. So very crowded, very top, not top heavy, just even distribution of great programs. What do you kind of feel like the outlook is for Region 8 AAA?
Wide open again. Like you say, you got a lot of really good teams. Monroe area winning last year. Obviously, Oconee's done really well. Hart's done really well. I mean, you got Hebron Christian coming in, and that's a little bit of an unknown because you really don't know a lot about them just because, they've been in lower classification. But, in Gwinnett County, they've probably got some really good, really good athletes there. And then, throw another rival in the mix for Franklin County.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
never
just,
can count them out.
Yeah, it's just always, it's always a battle in the region, but I think the biggest thing is, your first goal is to win it, but your second goal is to get in the playoffs and get as good a position in the playoffs as you can. And, I think we showed last year, even though we got the 4 seed, that, we were still a really good football team, being able to beat Rockmart in the first round.
Yep, absolutely. Well, Coach, can't wait for it to happen and unfold as we get kicked off here in a couple of weeks, and wish you guys the best of luck.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.